Considering buying EE's fastest broadband plan, today we reviewed EE's 1.6 gigabit broadband deal to see if it's any good, based on its download and upload speeds, value for money, Wi-Fi router, EE's customer service, and more. But before we begin, make sure to click the link in the description to the EE broadband coverage checker and put in your postcode here to see if you can get their 1.6 gigabit plan at your address when you're watching this, and also to find out what prices they're offering on it at the moment. EE currently offers one of the fastest OpenReach broadband plans on the market at the moment, called their Busiest Home Bundle, with a download speed of 1.6 gigabits per second or 1600 megabits per second. By default, it comes with a 24-month contract, but you also have the choice of a 12-month tariff as well. EE's fastest plan comes with their Smart Hub Pro Wi-Fi router, which we've talked more about later in the video, and you also get this Wi-Fi signal booster as well. These are both included free of charge on their 1.6 gigabit plan, but you can also add them to other EE broadband tariffs for an extra monthly cost if you want to. No matter which EE broadband plan you buy, you get a few different benefits which it's worth knowing about. By joining EE Home Broadband, you'll get the ability to buy rolling monthly EE unlimited data SIMs, which can be quite helpful if you want to reduce your mobile phone bills as a family and you own your phones outright rather than having them on a contract. EE has the best mobile coverage of any of the big four networks, but these SIMs are limited to 10 megabits per second, so they're not the best if you're used to really fast 5G. There's also this Wi-Fi enhancer software, which is sort of like the quality of service settings that some routers come with, except it's app-based, allowing you to prioritize different things on your network, such as Zoom calls or gaming. We haven't found this particularly useful, and if you have 1.6 gigabits, you probably don't need to worry about bandwidth allocation like this. There's also this second 1.6 gig plan that EE often sells, which is the exact same, except it comes with Xbox Game Pass for an extra £15 a month. But we don't think this is worth looking at, because you can buy Game Pass separately from Microsoft for the same price whenever you want to. It's also worth mentioning quickly, EE can be quite a good choice if you want to watch cable TV. Basically, BT have pushed all of their cable TV offerings over to EE over the last year or two, so you can now get basically any cable TV channel you'd want, including Sky Sports, Sky Cinema, and TNT Sports. EE has a broadband-based TV box you can include if you want to do things like record live TV without the need for a satellite dish, and you can also get Apple TV instead if you'd prefer. In short, this broadband deal offers really good download speeds, as you'd expect, but the upload speeds leave a lot to be desired. 1600 megabits is plenty of download speed, and EE's service is pretty consistent from our testing. The good thing about EE from a speed point of view is their minimum speed guarantees are quite good. As you can see, the minimum speed guarantee is 1.3 gigabits at the moment, meaning if your speeds drop below this level, EE has to step in and fix it. If we look at Vodafone for comparison's sake, we've also linked to their coverage checker in the description. If you want to compare the pricing of their 1.6 gigabit plan to EE's, you can see on their version of this plan from EE, the minimum speed guarantee is just 800 megabits per second instead of 1300, so it's nowhere near as high. But the problem with EE's Busiest Home Bundle, which also affects the other OpenReach 1.6 gigabit providers, is the upload speed isn't the best. It's 115 megabits at the moment, which is plenty for most households, especially given that most of us download a lot more data than we upload. But it's only 5 megabits faster than EE's 900 megabit plan, even though you're paying nearly double the cost for their fastest broadband deal. So ultimately, the speeds on offer from this plan are very fast, actually the fastest in the UK at many addresses, but we just wish the upload speed was a bit higher, given how much more you're paying for EE's 1.6 gigabit plan compared to their other tariffs. So make sure to click the link in the description to the EE broadband website and put in your postcode to see what prices they're offering at the moment. You might find, for example, that the 900 megabit plan is better value for your household, given that this is still plenty of bandwidth for most families. The Wi-Fi router you get with EE's 1.6 gigabit broadband plan is one of the best on the market at the moment from any broadband provider. It comes with Wi-Fi 7, which is the latest Wi-Fi standard. BT, for example, is still shipping their Smart Hub 2 router, which only comes with Wi-Fi 5, even on their fastest broadband plans, because Wi-Fi 7 tech is actually quite expensive, so it's good to see EE offering this at the moment. The downside to the Smart Hub Pro is it is a bit locked down, like most BT and EE routers are. There's a few things you can't do, like setting up custom DNS on a router level, which is a bit annoying, and you'll also find a lot of the things you might like to control are in the EE app, instead of in the web admin interface, which personally we're not a fan of. We'd prefer if everything was in the same location, in the web interface, so you didn't have to use the EE app if you didn't want to. But this is a minor annoyance really. When it comes to Wi-Fi, the Smart Hub Pro performs really well. We tested it in a 2-story, 4-bedroom house, without even setting up the Wi-Fi signal extender that you get with this broadband plan, and we found indoors we had no dead spots at all. Even going into the back garden, on the opposite side of the house from where the router's installed, by the front door, we could still get online with decent speeds, around 50 to 100 megabits per second, and a ping of less than 30 milliseconds, which is really impressive. We didn't find the fact that it's a bit locked down all that annoying. Instead, the bigger downside of this router for us is just what it costs. You'll either be paying for it in terms of the difference between these two prices for the 900 and 1600 megabit plans from EE, or by adding it on to one of EE's other broadband deals, which costs £10 a month at the moment. So you might be wondering, how much benefit will you get from this router? To do this, if you have an Android phone, you can install our Wi-Fi Signal Checker app, which we've linked to in the description. Once you install the app and grant the necessary permissions, you can walk around the house and check for Wi-Fi dead spots. If you notice any places with really bad signal going into the red as measured by the app, try to load a web page or run a speed test to see what your connection is like. If you're currently using a Wi-Fi 5 router and you have a few spots around the house with scores less than 20 out of 100, you should get much more consistent speeds in these areas with the Smart Hub Pro. It's not necessarily the case that you'll get a better signal reading in these spots with the Smart Hub Pro, but with a Wi-Fi 7 router like this, it can perform a lot better even when the signal is weak, and you might notice your signal score improve as well. It basically just depends on what router you're using at the moment and whether you have any Wi-Fi dead spots. If you're on the edge of coverage with a Wi-Fi 5 router at certain points of the house, upgrading to the Smart Hub Pro, especially given it comes with a Wi-Fi signal booster, will probably be quite beneficial. Compared to most other providers, we think this plan from EE offers really good value for money. When we're recording this, it costs £65 a month at the moment, while Vodafone's similar plan, with a lower minimum speed guarantee and a lower upload speed, costs £5 more per month, though it does also include a Wi-Fi 7 router and a Wi-Fi signal booster, as well as a 4G broadband backup device to keep you online if your fibre ever goes down. So click the link in the description to the EE Broadband and Vodafone Broadband websites and put in your postcode to compare their prices on 1.6 gigabit broadband when you're watching this. The issue with EE's Busiest Home Bundle, from a value for money point of view, is what it costs compared to other plans from them. As we touched on before, it's nearly double the cost of their 900 megabit plan, even though it comes with basically the same upload speed and the same mobile and other benefits. A lot of devices actually can't take advantage of the speeds you're getting on 1.6 gigabits per second, so you might find that it's better to get their 900 megabit plan and potentially upgrade the router to the Smart Hub Pro, although we've found that their Smart Hub Plus router that EE includes on their other plans with Wi-Fi 6 also performs really well when it comes to Wi-Fi signal and speeds. So click the link in the description to the EE Broadband website to compare the costs of their different plans at your address when you're watching this. In our experience with EE Broadband, they've been really good. They use the same UK-based customer support team as BT, their parent company, because BT owns EE, and for us, they've been really helpful. They seem knowledgeable when you get in touch, and it's fairly easy to reach someone over the phone. We normally wait about 1 to 2 minutes on hold, and they don't push you towards live chat, like some other providers do, although you can use it if you want, through the EE mobile app. There is an issue with EE from a customer service point of view though. According to Ofcom data, they do get a fair number of complaints. As of the most recent data, EE gets 12 complaints per 100,000 customers, which is the third worst of any major provider, and a bit above the industry average of 9. This isn't great, but personally we're not too concerned about it. Firstly, because we've been using EE for nearly 2 years now, and we've had 0 issues with them, both from a customer support and service consistency point of view, and also because none of the other providers that have really low scores here offer 1.6 gigabit broadband at the moment. PlusNet is super basic, and it's sort of similar with Sky. They both ship fairly outdated Wi-Fi 5 routers by default, though you can pay for a Wi-Fi 6 one with Sky, and it's sort of a similar story with BT. If you want 1.6 gigabit, as an OpenReach user, your main other choice is Vodafone, but they have basically the same complaints as EE at the moment. And it's also worth mentioning, while EE's complaint numbers do appear a bit high compared to other providers, they're still very low. About 10 years ago, they were about 5 times as high, so your chances of having issues with EE are very low these days. Though if you are an EE customer, let us know what you think about them in the comments. If you want to download things as fast as possible, want really good Wi-Fi, and aren't too concerned about how much you spend, EE's 1.6 gigabit plan is definitely worth looking at. It offers the fastest download speeds, available at most addresses at the moment, and the best Wi-Fi router sent to new customers by any broadband provider on the market at the moment. We just wish it was a bit cheaper and came with faster upload speeds. But make sure to click the link in the description to the EE Broadband website to see if you can get their fastest plan at your address when you're watching this, and also to see what this tariff costs at the moment. And also in the description, click the link to download our Wi-Fi signal checker app to find any Wi-Fi dead spots in your house, and see if you'd benefit from a better Wi-Fi router like the EE Smart Hub Pro. And if you have any questions about EE Broadband, or this tariff specifically, let us know in the comments below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.